Well, hello, hello. I am super excited to be joining you today. I wanted to jump on for just a few minutes to talk a little bit about whatever questions that you may have. I was not able to answer some questions in the last couple of lives that I had, but I'm here now and I'm going to be here for just a few minutes. So we'll give some time here for some people to sign on and let's see what questions that you have. Happy President's Day. We are in another season of a new president. So if you're celebrating today, if you're off of work, congratulations. But if you're celebrating, I'm celebrate with you. So I hope that you're having a great Monday. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and I hope that financially you're pulling everything together so that you're able to move forward with whatever it is that you have for goals in 2025. Now, I am super excited because I feel like that 2025 is going to be the best year yet. And I hope that you're looking at it the same way. So, hello to everyone. We're checking into a HELOC tomorrow. That is awesome, super awesome. So, I am here just to answer some questions that you may have today. So, feel free to ask. I wanted to jump on a minute. I haven't had much time to answer questions during the previous lives, but I want to do that now if you have any. Yay! Hello, hello to everyone. Paid off my first credit card. That is awesome. Just closed on my HELOC Friday. Great news. Oh my gosh, I know you're so excited for that. I had my Money Max consult this morning. Thank you for all of your direction. Very excellent, Tara. We are having a live webinar tomorrow night. Money Max is. The link is in the description of this video. I could probably put it in here as well. So that's on Tuesday, which is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm glad you reminded me about that. What did I just do? Okay. All right. So this is the Money Max live webinar. Okay. And I'm putting it in here. I'm glad you reminded me to even mention that. I was not able to do one last Tuesday due to I have been in a conference. Okay. So there you go. Why didn't that post? What happened? What happened? Did I delete that? I am hilarious. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Money Max webinar. Have I told you that I am not technically inclined? Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We have 3 businesses. Can I combine them into one HELOC cash flow along with 2 loans? Amy, you can. Just make sure you're doing it from banking checking account to personal checking account before you do any transfers into the HELOC. Okay. The reason that's important, and I did ask JJ the CPA, I'm going to be seeing JJ the CPA tonight. He is coming into my classes. I started the master class at the 1st of February. He is going to be joining our meeting tonight, but I did ask him about the business and HELOC transfers, how that should go to keep it straight with the IRS. And according to him, as long as you're making all transfers from a business checking into a personal checking and then transferring the funds into the HELOC, that kind of distinguishes what you're doing with the money, and the IRS is, you know, must be okay with that. I needed to know that for my own situation because my HELOC is personal and sometimes I do business with it. So, like I said, as long as it's going from your personal checking into the business checking or vice versa, that's supposed to keep everything clean. I hope that makes sense because it made sense to me, but I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a little person sitting here trying to help people. Okay, so where can I apply for a HELOC in Illinois? You're going to have to check around to your local credit unions, banks there in your area if you're looking for a second position HELOC. Second position HELOC, remember, that determines if you have a mortgage or not. If you have a mortgage, then you can have a line of credit beside of it. If you don't have a mortgage and you just want the one line to be all of your home property lines in one, then that is a first lien. Wow, that sounded very, very complicated. Okay, so the first lien HELOC means you don't have a mortgage. Simple as that. Now, you can take a mortgage and transfer it into a first lien HELOC. If you're interested in doing that, I have links below for the first lien HELOC lender. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. I have a $15,000 PLOC. How do I get it started? You pay off debt and then you start transferring all of your income into the PLOC. As long as it's a revolving line, you can do that. Good afternoon. Yeah, we are good afternoon here. That's right. Yes, lines of credit are revolving. I have a HELOC and I would like to know if I should make a principal payment or regular payment HELOC with First Savings Bank. Awesome. You should get the first lien HELOC with First Savings Bank. They're very good to do that. That's who my link below is with, First Savings. Let's see here. So regular or principal? Very good question. My account, because I'm transferring deposits into it daily when I have a balance, so I'm transferring daily because I get paid sometimes daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. It doesn't matter how you're paid. I just transfer the monies into my HELOC as I'm paid. So I do regular payments because I don't usually have any interest on the accounts by the way I use my lines of credit. When you get used to using a line of credit, you'll do it the same exact way. Okay. So the point being, just make transfers in whenever you get paid. Sometimes if you have interest from the previous month due, then they will deduct it out of the payment as it goes in. But principal only means you're just hitting the principal and you're not making a payment, meaning that it's not going to satisfy the payment for that month. I hope that makes sense. My HELOC is usually set ahead months because I'm making regular payments all the time. Right now, I think it's at a zero balance, so I'm not putting anything into the HELOC right now. So there is no interest due either. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Good morning, Christy Vann. Hello, Michael. I am having trouble finding any banks that offer personal lines of credit. Do you have any suggestions? Michael, sometimes, especially a credit union, may have it as a credit card, and you can transfer from the credit card into your checking as long as the credit card's with the same bank. So check on that. Credit unions are the best for that. Question: any velocity banking tips that apply when you're self-employed and the income is not steady? It is being paid daily with an extremely tight budget. Regina, what I just said, mine too, come in daily. So you would just transfer it into the line as you're paid. That way you're hitting that line even every day, right? So if you're hitting it every day, then you're reducing the average daily balance that they're going to charge the interest on. Thank you. You are helping me so much with my finances. You have been an answer to my financial prayers. Thank you so much, Anna, for saying that. But thank the Lord, because the wisdom comes from Him. And if I hadn't asked Him and received that, I would be in the same exact mess I always was in as well. I'm really stuck on a huge decision for a cash out refinance, essentially. Okay. Why are you even trying to make a decision on a cash fi refinance or cash out refi? Why? Don't I have videos that say that's a waste of your energy? That's a waste of your money in most situations. So let me read on. I have a significant amount on a lower interest rate that would get converted to a higher interest rate. Steve, you're on the wrong channel if you're looking to do a cash out refi. I never, ever talk about doing a cash out refi. Why do I never talk about doing a cash out refi? Well, because the cash out refi is doing nothing but resetting the interest that you've already paid on that mortgage. Why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you get the cash out of a HELOC and have a revolving line of credit so that as you pull out the money as needed out of the HELOC, not in a chunk loan that they put into your checking account that you now start making the amortized scheduled payments every single month for 9,000 years. No, the HELOC, you can transfer those funds out as you need it, put back what you don't need, transfer your income in there so it's sitting, it's paycheck parking if you listen to Matthew Pillmore. So you are letting your paycheck sit in there, keeping that balance down, which is keeping the interest charges down. Okay. When your payment goes, or I'm sorry, when your income is transferred into the HELOC or any line of credit, you have satisfied the payment for that month. So if you owe $500, but you transfer in 1,000, then you've satisfied that monthly payment of 500, right? Then you're going to pull your expenses back out as you need them. The point is to keep the interest charges down on the account. All right. Cash out refis, scam. Sorry, I said it out loud. To me, that's what it is, because they're taking advantage of you with that interest charge that you're going to be getting to repay all of what you have already paid, how many every years you're into that loan. Okay. My question is, how much does it cost a consultation with me that you do not need? Is that what you're asking, Norma? If you just desire, I do have a consultation fee. It's 45 minutes. It is virtually just like this. So we're talking about $189. So that is totally something you do not need because you have the videos. Okay. I don't want you to pay me. I want you to pay your bills. If you must have that, then I have links below for that as well. After a couple of weeks of researching and gathering my info this morning, I started this process. I'm very excited to see this work and be debt free in about 18 months conservatively. That's beautiful, Stephen. Awesome. Does HELOC work if you don't have a couple of $1,000s to throw in it? I'm still trying to learn this way. Does the HELOC work? That's a loaded question there. Jesse, is that who asked that? The HELOC, I think, always works as long as you have cash flow. So I don't know if you're talking about a couple of thousand cash flow to throw in there or a couple of thousand that you make in your paycheck. Again, MP asking how much it costs to get my help. I have a $189 fee. I don't sell anything. I sell coaching if you need it, but I don't sell anything. I give you options through these videos of how to get out of debt. I expect you to man up and start looking into the banks around your area to see what it is you can do to help yourself. So I'm not giving you a fish for you to eat. I'm teaching you how to fish so that you will never go hungry again, right? So the consultations that I do is one-on-ones that show you how to use your own money to push you into the right direction of what I would do if I were in your situation. The videos do the same thing. It just maybe doesn't use your personal numbers. So the consultations that I do are literally laying out by your worksheet what your numbers look like, what I would do in that situation. So unless you just need a one-on-one, you have questions about your individual situation that you cannot get over the hump to get started, feel free to schedule an appointment with me. But I do not have many appointments available for that reason. I don't want to be a crutch, you know. And that's why, I keep the fees low on what I charge compared to what your other guys are out there charging. That's just because I'm wanting you to be able to get the help you need very, very inexpensively. But the point being that you can do this all by yourself. And for goodness sake, do not go out there and just find a financial advisor to start paying them that ridiculous fee that they charge you every month to tell you absolutely nothing. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not going to rant. I'm sure there's some good financial advisors out there. I'm not one. No, don't claim to be. But to charge somebody, I don't know. The ones that I see are over $250 a month, and that's the low side. But I mean, to literally charge somebody to tell them, okay, so you need to cut out paying cable. Let's cut our cable off because you can't afford that every month. And okay, so you need to put $200 into this fund every month so that you can start investing. I mean, give us something to work with here. Give me something of value. I get so aggravated because I have people this morning. Someone said, "Well, I've been looking for a financial advisor and I'm like, "Why do you need a financial advisor? Why do you need a financial advisor? You work. You've got videos that's going to show you how to do whatever. By golly, you're meeting with me and we're laying out a plan. Why do you need a financial advisor? If somebody on here could tell me one thing that a financial advisor can do for you that's not explained on this channel or the partners that I have or the other people that I work with, what do they do? What do they do? Somebody help me out. Maybe you're a financial advisor and you can tell me the value of paying somebody to financially advise me. Okay. I have a business consultant. I have Chris Noggle to help me get set up everything I need to when it comes to my retirement, comes to my infinite banking concept, my stashing away money and letting it grow at compound interest. Uh, I told you guys the other day, I'm becoming my own bank and I'm working aggressively to do that because that has been an absolute, mind blowing opportunity that I'm super excited about. So I just don't know. I've never personally hired a financial advisor. And like I said, I'm sure there's some good ones out there, but I've seen the fees that they charge, especially if you have, like retirement accounts or they're doing something to advise you on what you need to be doing with your money or whatever. And people that really wake up to that are like, wow, they're charging a lot of money. Even 1% is a lot of money depending on your portfolio. So I don't know. I guess I'm just not rich enough to have a financial advisor. Let's see. Is it possible to just pay off all larger bills all at once, even though this will make the HELOC balance go higher initially, then continue to put all of the income into the HELOC? Great question. That's it. It all depends upon how much you're gaining in cash flow when you pay off the larger debt. Now, you do not want to have a HELOC at a 10% interest rate and then have, $100,000 on it and you don't have cash flow of $200 once you're done putting all of the money into or all of the debt into the HELOC, because you've got to have money over the interest charges to be working down the debt. So the reason that I never let my HELOC get really high in the balance is because I don't want the interest charges with it. I want to be able to just really chunk that thing down, pay that off, and you have to have cash flow to do that. I hope that makes sense. Jesus is in the house, and I know that he is going to answer that correctly. Thank you. Dion. Hey, Christy V. Love your channel. I learned tons from your videos starting back in November. That is awesome. That is awesome. Do you have a video on how to get a HELOC? A HELOC is basically asking your local banks before you allow them to run your credit. Please ask around to different credit unions, different banks, and say, hey, I have a home. It has this value. So kind of know what the value of your property is. Know definitely what the balance of your mortgage is if you have one, and your credit scores. Okay, the HELOCs are best around the 700 credit score. You can get them at a 660-ish and above, but the 700 is going to give you the best rate. So just ask questions like that. Okay, ask what your DTI needs to be. It's usually 42% or lower. I was looking to find a secured HELOC and wanted to know if you knew of any good bank or credit union that would be an option. No, a secured usually you can get from any bank or credit union. That means you're putting up some savings, I guess, so that you're able to get the line. So any bank would be able to do that, I imagine. Can taking a HELOC paid off the remain can paying off the remainder by paying the principal each year a good idea? Taking a HELOC paid off the remainder of the mortgage faster by paying the principal. Yeah, you want to hit the principal anytime you are doing a chunk onto a mortgage. I hope that's what you're talking about there. Hey, Christy, I'm using my credit card at 8% each month for bills. It seems like I'm going up in the balance rather than down. Then are you putting your cash flow in there to pay that down? Because we can't spin our wheels, just like I was saying with the HELOC. If you put a larger amount onto the HELOC, that's not going to do you any good if you don't have the cash flow you need to pay the HELOC down at the same time. Okay. I'm telling you guys, I work with people every day. And when we pay off debt and put into a HELOC, we may just do one at a time, or we may do 10 at a time. It depends on the cash flow you're going to gain when you pay off that loan. And if that cash flow, on top of the cash flow you already have, is going to help you to pay down the HELOC. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, that's no good. That's not going to work. But you would be surprised. Like a lady I worked with earlier, she had over 20 years left on her mortgage. She had a second position HELOC already in place, and she had a pool loan that she was wanting to pay off. Putting all of that together in a first lien HELOC had her paid off in 6.5 years. Seems unrealistic, doesn't it? But when you're taking a look at how the interest is being charged on the mortgage compared to the HELOC, and especially on an 8% pool loan, putting it into a HELOC, it's a no-brainer because your income's going in to hit that balance. You went from an amortized schedule that's giving you monthly payments every month to a revolving line of credit. Your income's going in, all of your income's going in to beat down the balance on that HELOC, which is keeping your interest charges less every month. All right. So your income's going in, you're reducing the balance. And then slowly throughout the month, you're going to go to the grocery store, you're going to go to the gas station, you're going to eat out at a restaurant, you're going to pay your electric bill. It starts building back up, but here comes income again, hitting that line to keep it down. I hope that makes sense. How to calculate if fully use LOC to pay off 1 to 2 credit cards or to just concentrate on one. Okay, that's a good question too. You It depends again. It depends on the cash flow that you're gaining from the credit card or the line of credit. It just depends. I mean, that is an individual case by case situation analysis that needs to be done to show, is it okay for you to go ahead and throw all of your debt into this line, or do we need to take it slow because your cash flow needs to work down the balance a little bit before we pick up more debt? I am not an advocate for loading up lines of credit. I am not. I don't do mine that way. I don't want you to do yours that way. And if you can't get a line of credit, if you have so much, you're just overwhelmed with the monthly payments that you have to make every month, then for goodness sake, go with the Money Max. The Money Max is a beautiful tool that organizes it all for you, and it's non-invasive. So we don't need social security numbers and account numbers. It's just going to use that algorithm to show you how to pay off your debt. And I'm going to tell you, using the Money Max is going to cut off a couple of years of debt that you're going to be paying with a line of credit. Because with the line of credit, you're still going to have interest charges every month, right? Especially on your home. If you move a big home balance into a HELOC, you could have anywhere from $1 to $2 to $3,000 in interest charges a month using a HELOC. Even though it ends up being cheaper than a mortgage, you could still beat it all with the Money Max. The Money Max eliminates interest. I had a client this past week, the weekend, actually it's on Saturday morning, and all of her interest was brought down from 120%, right, that she's paying out on the debt she has now, down to 1.45%. Well, when you're cutting things that low in interest, all of the money now that you're paying towards the loan is actually going to pay off your principal balance. So you can't beat the Money Max when it comes to debt elimination. I love lines of credit. I'll always have a line of credit. I hope that you guys always have a line of credit, because you're going to need cash at times. You're going to have emergencies pop up and you need a way to pay for those. But the Money Max on top of the line, it's beautiful. And I'm not going to act like it's not. That's why I have both the Money Max and a line of credit, and always will, because the Money Max is a lifetime product, right? It's a guaranteed product. So I'm going to have both, because every property I buy, it's going to go into the Money Max first so that it gives me that guaranteed payoff date. And then I'm going to be chunking from my line of credit into whatever loan line, whatever I have there. And I'm going to be paying that off even faster. So you just remember, the Money Max is always going to beat anything in debt elimination, because it's getting rid of all of the interest. Okay. All right. I am going to have to sign off based on that. I have to get into another appointment now, but I appreciate you joining me today. Feel free to leave any comments or questions below. I'll try to get around and answer them as soon as possible. But I just hope that you guys are having a great Monday, a great President's Day. I hope this week is your best week yet, and stay encouraged, because it only gets better from here. I'll see you guys in the next video.